Why doesn't he commit in a relationship? Why does he find it so hard to accept my love? Why is he not chasing? Why is he not calling? What's wrong with him? Can't he see and sense that I really do like him and my feelings for him are real and genuine? Is he really stupid? Why do guys find it really hard to commit in a relationship? I am thinking that one in every girl has had to ask this question or ponder on this question or cry to their friends to figure out why it's so hard for a guy to commit to a relationship. And I'm also assuming that you clicked on this video because you could somewhat relate to the title of this video, right? So if you fell in line with these two categories of girls, then you need to keep on watching. For staying tuned. My name is Jane Lawrence and I am that girl that comes with a lot of juice, who spills a lot of tea. But before we get into it, you know the drill. You need to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Click the like button and also share if you love my content and you're feeling it. All right, so great, let's get right into it. Why do guys find it really hard to commit to a relationship? I've got 4 reasons that I would put out there. Number 1, when you do not give him something to chase, he's most likely never going to feel the need to commit to that relationship. So make him chase you until you catch him. And this can only happen when you give him the sense of the fact that you're not into him to the point of letting him into your life. Once he gets that feeling, once he gets that vibe, he's most likely to be challenged to want to have you in his life. Men love to chase. Men are built, men are designed naturally to conquer, to chase. So you've got to give him something to chase. If you don't, he's most likely never going to feel the need to commit to that relationship. So what are you bringing to the table that makes him want to have you in his life? That's something that you should think about. Most of the time, women get into a relationship thinking that, oh, just because I'm beautiful, just because I am great in bed, just because I am a jovial person, I am like lovable and all that, that's all there is when it comes to relationship. A relationship has a lot going. It is work, and sometimes before you even get into a relationship, it is also work, because that is that period of indecisiveness. Indecisive in the sense that he's trying to figure out if you're the type of woman that would compliment him, if you're the sort of woman who can stand him intellectually and hold up a conversation for a very long time. Because I see a lot of empty relationships this day and time. A lot of people get into a relationship and all they have to offer is sex. You've got to have something much more than sexual compatibility. You've got to be compatible mentally. That is the key to sustaining a relationship. Your relationship is tested on the grounds of communication. If you can stimulate his mind intellectually, it depends on the kind of guy that you're dating. If you're into a guy who is just like superficial, you might never really get anything substantial as a woman of substance. All right? Ooh, I like that rhyme. Ooh, 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 ooh. So in any case, I'm trying to say that having a great, healthy, intellectual conversation is capable of luring people of same mind or of like minds, and that's rare to come by. It's hard to find a beautiful woman who can hold up a great conversation, intellectual conversation with a man. And any real man wants a real woman who can do that. Do you get what I'm saying? So give him something to chase. Sexual can be a bonus, but it is not the price. It is not the actual content. The actual content is what you've put inside of you, which is years of building knowledge. What is that one thing that you can bring to the table? What is that one thing that you can do in a relationship that is quite different from the things that he's used to coming from women that he's dated in the past or he has seen or experienced? That's something that you should try to figure out. Are you a woman of substance? Are you a woman that when you decide to say today that I'm leaving this relationship because it is not what you envisage, he will bulk in. He will freak out because he knows that you're rare. You're not a typical, ordinary, day kind of woman. You're different. You're just a breath of fresh air. Do you get what I'm saying? If you don't have that wow effect on any man, I'm sorry, he's most likely to leave you because there is nothing captivating or stimulating about you. See, girl, it has got to be way deeper than your physical looks. Because all of these things fade away. Your breast will sag. Everything will just fade away. And this is vice versa as well too. Because guys, she might find it really hard to commit to you because you're not a man of substance. There is nothing she's looking up to. Number two, the reason why I feel like a guy finds it very difficult to commit to a relationship is when he feels like you have some insecurities about winning him over. Once he gets the sense, that's the minute when he feels like he's gotten you 100%. And when that happens, it is so unlikely that you've engendered that overwhelming feeling of attraction that is necessary for him to, you know, find the need to commit to a relationship or to court you or even take you to the next level by getting married to you. Because when it comes to securing a man's interest in commitment, the best strategy is for you to make him know that you like him, but you're not fixated in the pursuit of him. Oh, I am a professor. I need to be a prof. Yeah, that you're not interested in holding him down, because as soon as the guy gets the hint that this woman wants to be in a relationship with me and I am likely not going to find freedom, I am likely not going to mingle with other girls or go out and have some boy times, he's really going to be scared to be in that relationship, because a typical guy, especially the young guys, want freedom. They want to be able to engage with as much women out there, you know, have that boy time. They don't want to be stuck in a relationship. People say men are polygamous. I say that is bullshit. Real men do not play games. Real men are not polygamous. Real men know what they want and they go for it. Real men will not taste the waters. Only boys. Boys that are very young. Boys that still think they have long years ahead of them. Those are the ones that will want to taste the waters. So as a woman, if you're looking for commitment, you're not going for a guy who is practically looking at tasting the waters. Except you're young. Except you're young and you're not looking forward to being tied down in a relationship for a long time. Then fine. Because real men will find and chase and commit to women who have found themselves, discovered their purpose, and are in line with their purpose. That's practically something boys will not do. Let's take a case study from Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama was a woman in purpose. She found her purpose. She was in her purpose when she met Obama. Obama was a man of purpose who understood what clarity was all about, and he had a clear intention, and he went for it. He wasn't there to play games. And Michelle wasn't even up for games as well. So you have to be certain what you want per time. When you're sure about what you want in a man, you'll be able to put to test the intention of every man who comes to seek your attention. Ooh, I just rhymed. Obama was really intentional. He knew what he wanted from the get-go and he went for it. He was not mistaken. He was not delusional. He wasn't there to play games. And to top it all up, Michelle Obama wasn't thirsty. She wasn't a thirsty girl. She wasn't even in need of a relationship at that point in time. She didn't even see Obama as the sort of person that she would want to date because she was mentoring him. He was under her. And, you know, she didn't think it was right or appropriate to be in a relationship with someone who the company or the law firm had asked her to mentor. But Obama wasn't shaken because he already saw a woman. See, it takes 5 minutes upon meeting or getting acquainted with a woman for a man to figure out if this woman is the woman that he would like to spend the rest of his life with. Ladies, it takes 5 minutes for a guy to figure that out. So if you're dating a guy for like 10 years or 5 years and he still hasn't made up his mind to want to walk you down the aisles, my baby girl, that's not the guy for you. I'm sorry. It doesn't take much for a guy to know if he wants to be with you or if he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. Period. Period. Now, according to our case study, Michelle Obama, she said, you can't just Tinder your way to a long-term relationship. It doesn't happen that way. You don't rush things. Because it takes you objectively looking at the viable potentials that that relationship can bring, not now, but in the future. It is not about today. Whatever relationships that you're gunning for, whatever relationship that you're looking at to go into, do not just look at what you can derive from it now, but what you can derive from it 10, 5, 6, whatever years to go or to come, whichever way. Now, another reason why he's not committed is when you started out yourself in that courtship or in that relationship. You lose your power, darling, when you ask him, the moment you ask him where you stand in his life. You just automatically told him that the terms and conditions of that relationship are now his to dictate. And he unconsciously or subconsciously starts to, put up a guard. His guard just goes up 100%. That's why being too upfront or too open about what you want from a new relationship is never a good option or a good strategy at all. And when you start to understand the psychology of a man, when you start to understand how the minds of men work, you will be able to manipulate your way into their lives. You just have to understand how their minds work. All right? Now, let me paint a picture for you. This is how guys see commitment. He sees it exactly the way a woman gets heated on in a bar by a guy who is just complimenting her and at the same time nudging her to come to his crib almost immediately upon getting acquainted. That's just borderline cringe-worthy for any sane person. And immediately her guard goes up 100%, and what she just wants to do is to kick him off the way and never get in contact with him ever again. That's exactly the way men see commitment. The best strategy is for you to act nice, act like you're not quite interested in dating him, but however, you're fine with just, the friendship and how it goes, but you also have limits to what you do in that courtship. Do you get what I'm saying? If he wants something much more, you would feel it, and you don't even need to prove anything. But before that time, all you need to do is study, understand where he's coming from and what his intentions are. Now listen, every woman has been designed by God to be intuitive. You have a gut feeling that something isn't right or something is right. This is true or this is not true. There is something that would tell you inside your heart that this guy, his intentions are pure and clean. There is always a gut feeling. We all have it. But the problem with us women is that we like to suppress the red flags and just give excuses. And that's when we get into the deepest tragedy of our lives. So follow your intuitions. It will always lead you well. So when you go pestering him about what does this relationship mean? When are we settling down? You get him really on edge. So I feel like you can only ask a guy where the relationship is headed if you've been dating for, say, 5 years, or you've been dating for even after 1 year. You should be asking where the relationship is headed to. Like I said earlier before, it takes a guy 5 minutes to know if he wants to settle down with this woman or he just wants to play around. So people who have been in a long-term relationship, and especially for ladies who have come of age to get married, I think it's about that time for you to start asking where the relationship is headed to. It's not a bad idea. The moment you start to figure out that this guy does not know where this relationship is headed to, or he doesn't have a plan for it, that's when you start to change the direction of the relationship. I've taught you that on how to seduce a guy, all right, or seduce your crush. So you have to change the direction of your relationship by cutting down on the availability, by reducing the amount of activities that you put into that relationship. So he senses that there is a change of direction. There is a change in your attitude towards him. You're no longer the jovial, the kind of free-spirited person that he's always seen or noticed, or that he's used to, all right? And then if he's a smart guy, he will start to have a retrospective look at things and then figure out what the way forward should be for that relationship. If he isn't a smart person, then he would just let it slide, and automatically you would be able to read that this guy isn't serious, and then you start to make your move, all right? After all, not all relationship would end in marriage. That you should always have at the back of your mind, even if you're dating this guy for 5 years. Like, why would any woman date a guy for 5 years if you are not a high school person? Third reason why I think that guys do not commit in a relationship is because they don't owe you shit. It's hard, it's a bitter pill to take, but it's the truth. It's the gospel truth. Because look, a lot of women have been made to believe that if you could just bend a little backwards for your man, if you could just go to the moon and back for your man, he would just see it and maybe just reward you with the gift of marriage. Darling, it doesn't really work that way. You know what? In an ideal society, in an ideal world, that should be the case, right? But that's not it. Especially in a time and age where everything has been given to him in a discounted price. Anyone can get anything, any service at a discounted price. That's why you need to be smart about how you go about getting involved emotionally, physically in a relationship. If you sense that this guy is not giving you 100 just as you're dishing out 100 to him. If he's not willing to bend backwards for you, do not bend backwards for him, because that would be daunting. So he owes you nothing, and if you want the bitter pill, it is his right to leave when he feels like he needs to leave without any repercussions. If at all you feel like you've given so much in that relationship, it is not his fault. You decided to give. You decided to give whatever you gave in that relationship. So if he says he wants to leave, there is no reason on earth that he shouldn't leave. It is better he left than he stayed and causing you harm and displeasure and a great deal of unhappiness in the nearest future. So stop playing wifey roles when you don't have a sense of if he would walk you down the aisle in the future. And now that leads us to number 4. He will find it very hard to commit when he's gotten all of the wifey roles and duties and responsibilities free of charge without him having to pay the bride price. That's why you're not supposed to offload all of the goodies in courtship. I mean, like, why would he even want to go get a cow when he can get the milk easily? Girls, it's all about preserving your integrity. It's all about preserving that thing that makes for great marriage. If he wants it, if he's serious about it, he will put a ring on it and he will elevate from the status quo of being just boyfriend to that of being a husband. And also remember that it's not all about the ring. It's about him considering or figuring out if you are a potential life partner for him that he would care for, cherish, and uphold for the rest of his life. But until he reaches that conclusion, it will always be uncertainties for you, and that's not something that you want, right? Anyways, that would be it for now. If you did like this video, don't you forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment, and always be the best version of yourself, okay? Till next time, adios.